Hi there, my name's Michael and welcome to Tabletop-Infiltrator. In today's video we'll be looking at the last unit I've painted up, which will complete my 2000 points of Space Marines, a 5-man unit of Inceptors. We'll check out how I painted them up, their datasheet, any useful stratagems, and how I plan to use them on the tabletop. This has been an incredible journey. It usually takes me literally years to paint up an army, so to have done it in just over 2 months is quite an achievement even for me. However, I am definitely feeling the hobby burn now. What I'm really looking forward to is getting the army on the tabletop and getting some games in and rolling some dice. Hopefully with England easing lockdown restrictions, this is looking like a real possibility and I can't wait. So first up, let's have a look at the unit. And here they are, my 5-man Inceptor squad. I have to admit, even though there's only 5 in the unit, they were an absolute pain to paint. Firstly, I magnetised the flight stands and that was a headache. Trying to drill at an angle and even finding the right position to place the magnets did my head in. I usually paint models glued down to the base, giving me something to hold on to, which I didn't have on these, and it was so fiddly. I was so glad to get them done. Finished now, I'm quite happy with how they turned out. Again, I've got a simple painting scheme and technique to help speed up the process, and I feel it's just enough to do justice to the models. I did do a small conversion on them, leaving off the little blast shields on the assault bolters. To me, they don't add anything to the model, and these guys are designed to enter the battlefield via an orbital drop, so I'm pretty sure they're alright with a few flashes from their weapons. I painted them up using a Chaos Black rattle can to do the base coat and flight stands. I used my airbrush to apply the base colour of heavy blue. Abaddon Black was used to tidy up the assault bolters. Lead Belcher was applied to all the armour joints, cabling, jetpack exhaust, grav plates and assault bolters. Baltazar Gold was used on all the ornate sections of the models. Screamer Pink was the base colour for the purity seals. Ushamti Bone was used for any scroll work. Gory Red was used for the helmet lenses, the Sergeant's helmet, and to highlight the purity seals. The Sergeant's helmet lenses themselves were painted with Sick Green. White Scar was used for the dots on all of the lenses. All the models were given a wash of Nuln oil and then tidied up using the base colours. I used sand from the beach for the bases, stuck down with PVA and given a layer of flesh wash. When the models were dry, I used an artist pen with a 0.25mm black tip to write the scripture on the purity seals. Let me know what you think of them down in the comment section. Next, let's have a look at the unit's datasheet. So Inceptors are a fast attack choice, and as of the latest Space Marine FAQ have a base cost of 45 points per model. Looking at their stats, you can have between 3 and 6 models per squad. They have a movement of 10, weapon skill and ballistic skill of 3+, strength 4, toughness 5 because of the Gravis armour, 3 wounds, 2 attacks, 3 on the Sergeant, leadership 7, leadership 8 on the Sergeant with a 3-up save. Every model is equipped with 2 assault bolters. The assault bolter is range 18, assault 3, strength 5, -1 AP and 1 damage. Their war gear options, you can swap out the assault bolters for plasma exterminators. Their standard profile is again range 18, assault D3 this time, strength 7, -3 AP and 1 damage. They also have the blast rule. And if you supercharge them, again it's range 18, assault D3, and it's strength 8, -3 AP and 2 damage this time. However, they do suffer from the overheat rule, so if any unmodified hit rolls of 1 are made for the attacks with this weapon profile, the bearer is destroyed after shooting with this weapon. Their abilities, they have Angels of Death, giving them access to And They Shall Know No Fear, Boulder Discipline, Shock Assault and Combat Doctrines. You can split them into combat squads if you take a squad of 6 of them, so 2 units of 3. But again, if you're looking to take 2 units 3, you might as well not combat squad them and just take 2 units of 3 so you can have the Sergeant for the extra attack and extra leadership. They also have Death from Above, which is essentially Deep Strike. Games Workshop, please, if a unit can deep strike, don't write half a dozen rules that do exactly the same thing. Just have a universal rule that does the same thing for all factions. That's it. I have spoken there on that one. Looking through, you've got Deep Strike for Teleport Strike for Terminators. You've got Death from Above. It's all the same rule, so just have it as one rule and it'll make it a lot easier for people. Their keywords, they have Imperium, Adaptus Astartes, Infantry, Core, Primaris, Fly, Jump Pack, Mark 10, I think that's 10, Gravis, and Inceptor Squad. I'm going to be running a squad of 5, all equipped with the Assault Bolters. Now, I've seen most people equip them with the Plasma Exterminators, as the sheer amount of firepower they put out is absolutely horrible, but they are at risk of blowing themselves up if they overcharge, and knowing my luck, that's exactly what will happen, and I won't even cause any damage on top of that. So erring on the side of caution, I'm going with the Assault Bolters. So in total, a squad of 5 works out at 225 points. Looking at stratagems, there's 3 that could help the unit out, I think. The first one being Transhuman Physiology. So use this stratagem in any phase when a Primaris unit from your army is selected as the target of an attack. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack is made against that unit, an unmodified wound roll of 1 to 3 for that attack fails, irrespective of any abilities that weapon or model making the attack may have. If that unit contains 5 or fewer models, this strat costs 1 CP, otherwise it costs 2 CP. As it's a squad of 5, it'll only be 1 CP, and they're going to be up the board anyway, so the extra durability for the unit will really help them survive longer. Next is Hammer of Wrath for 1 command point. Use a stratagem in your charge phase when an Adaptus Astartes junk pack unit from your army finishes a charge move. Select 1 enemy unit within engagement range of that jump pack unit and roll d6 for each model in that jump pack unit that is within engagement range of that enemy unit. For each dice result, that squad equals or exceeds that enemy's unit's toughness characteristic, it suffers 1 mortal wound. So good if I need them to charge in, especially against low toughness units to get some additional damage. So the 5 of them potentially against toughness 3 or 4, you're looking for 3s and 4s to cause mortal wounds, and to be honest, if you can pull that off, that's quite a lot of damage you can put out just for 1 command point. Next is Unyielding in the Face of the Foe. That's a mouthful. Use a stratagem in any phase when Mark 10 Gravis unit from your army is selected as the target of an attack. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack with a damage characteristic of 1 is allocated to a model in that unit, add 1 to any armor saving throw made against that attack. Again, this is adding some more durability to the squad, and one of the main targets for the unit will be low toughness, low damage output opponents. So a combination of strats and weapon loadout will hopefully make them quite deadly. So how do I plan to use them on the tabletop? First idea is they'll act as a fire support squad for the lead assault element of my army. So we have a squad of Terminators which are preparing to charge into these Necron warriors. And what I do is I bring them down, unleash a volley of fire with their assault bolters to reduce the number of the Necron warriors and making life a little bit easier for the Terminators. Although, to be honest, I don't think they need any help destroying them. But any opponent that needs to be reduced in number to help out that assault force going in will be beneficial. Secondly, if needed, they can be a rapid response force coming down to a critical location on the board. Seen here, we have a 5-man infiltrator squad which is about to be overrun by these Necron warriors. The unit can come down, unleash their firepower, charge in, cause some mortal wounds using Hammer of Wrath, and if needed, using Unyielding in the Face of the Foe to give some extra protection against any return damage. That's the plan anyway. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section, what you would do differently, would you arm them differently, anything like that. I'd really appreciate it. And with that, I have 2,000 points of Space Marines painted up. Join me next week when we'll be looking at the entire army out on display, giving you an overview of how I plan to use them and what's next for the channel. If you've enjoyed the video, consider giving me a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button in the corner. I think it's about there. It really does help the channel out, and I'll hopefully see you next time.